What is Australia's national identity? Is it the bush? Where you find the classic images of the outback, Steve Irwin, and Crocodile Dundee? Or the beach? The images that fill postcards are represented in television shows like Bondi Rescue and consume dream holiday destinations and tourist spots.
Many could argue that the Bushman is the more accurate image of the Australian identity, and in many ways they have a strong case, noting that the bushland is infinitely older than the beaches settled by the Europeans around 230 years ago. However, the case for the Bushman being the identity of Australia falls short in the regard that it is not all-inclusive. As a broad group, women were not a part of it. As put by Kay Schaefer in her article Woman in the bush was no place for a woman, and the women that did succeed in the bush surrendered their womanhood and became increasingly masculine.
The beach, however, fosters the notable Australian identity of egalitarianism in the spirit of equality in an arguably classless society. The beach includes everyone, from the Aboriginal Australians, to the European Australians, to the migrant Australians, and to the tourist visiting Australia. In fact, 85% of the population lives within 50 kilometers of the coast. The beach highlights the cultural identity of equality and is known as the great leveler of class. From a fundamental standpoint, the beach cultivates the environment of acceptance, leisure, and the ability to see past differences. Or as Leon Huntsman puts it in Sand in Our Souls, The Beach in Australian History, it does not erase differences, it ignores them temporarily.
The bikini-clad women and the buff surfer dudes are in the same company as the pale-skinned blokes, the newborns, and the 95-year-olds. No one owns the beaches, and the ocean does not discriminate based on race, color, gender, religion, or class. Although the beachfronts have been altered to fit a more westernized culture and image, the rise and the fall of the waters that were detailed and passed down through Aboriginal stories remain the same. The waters continue to move as they please. The Aboriginals saw that long ago, and all other Australians continue to see that today.
The beach is as Australian as the koalas and the Vegemite. It's as Australian as the kangaroos and the beer, and it's definitely as Australian as Hugh Jackman. It provides an activity, a sport, a place to relax, and a home. The beach, although the appearance is the same on the outside, is versatile in the sense that it can be anything each different Australian wants it to be. In this way, the beach becomes woven into the identity of every Australian, from the Aboriginals who use the beach as a dreaming place, to the surfers who spend hours on end riding the waves.
Elizabeth Ellison sums it up perfectly in her thesis titled Flagging Spaces, exploring the myth of the Australian beach as an egalitarian space. She writes, whereas the outback or bush landscape has a long tradition of being characterized as dangerous, isolating, challenging, and alien, the beach can capture a more diverse range of representations from hedonistic and everyday to beautiful and dangerous. The beach is everything and more. It's always there, waiting for every Australian to get out there and explore it.